As an owner of multiple consoles, I have the luxury to choose whatever device I want to play games on. If I feel like sitting on a couch and playing on a big screen, I can use any of the three major consoles plus some older ones. If I want the best graphical fidelity and more accurate aim with a mouse, a beefy gaming PC that doubles as an editing horsepower. But handhelds hold a very confusing position in my collection. They're nice to have, and the genuine authenticity of using real hardware to play games from the past does satisfy me like nothing can. However, being surrounded by big screens, with even my phone screen being bigger than most handhelds, I just don't reach for them as often as I do my home consoles. Which is why it surprised me I started to prefer Switch Lite over the original and OLED. I've illustrated my love for the console and why I believe it is an underrated console in this video. If you're subscribed, there's a good chance you have seen the video as it is the most viewed content I've made. While I'm happy with the message I delivered, the way I planned the video was regrettable as it was designed to be one-sided from the beginning. It was purely a vessel to deliver my opinions without context. So let's talk about Nintendo Switch Lite again, and talk about why you should or shouldn't buy a Nintendo Switch Lite. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Joy-Con drift. With a survey done by UK consumer group Which in 2022, 40% of users experienced Joy-Con drift. That is a staggering amount. I have owned 3 sets of Joy-Cons and one has suffered a drift. That's a 33% failure rate. This is the unfortunate reality we have to live with if you want to have a Switch. Either live with it, or grab a third party or Pro controller. Nintendo does offer a free repair if you're willing to ship it to them, but that can be a hassle if the controller you're sending is the only controller you own, especially if it's permanently attached to the console like Switch Lite's case. It's really up to how you feel about this issue. I'm okay with it, because even if I had to send my unit to Nintendo, which hasn't happened yet, the benefits of owning the Lite is greater than the downside. Plus, I have other means to play games, so it isn't as critical as it may be to others. But if the drift issue concerns you and Switch Lite is gonna be your only console, I'd recommend other models instead, as they offer more flexibility. But if you plan on getting one as a secondary device, that's where this console really shines. The permanent attachment of controller on Switch Lite can cause inconvenience when sending for repair. But this seemingly unassuming byproduct of a budget cut is one of the strong points of this console. Depending on your unit, a regular Switch with Joy-Con rails will wiggle a tiny bit. This is not a defect as it is a standard manufacturing tolerance of allowing microscopic dimension changes. But like all issues, it's up to how you feel. The first time holding a Switch, it felt a bit off due to it, but I got used to it very quickly. That wasn't until I held a Switch Lite in my hand. Years of getting used to the Joy-Con rails thrown out the window. Holding it reminds you that a singular one-piece console is just superior. It feels more secure to maneuver and handle it however you like. It makes the regular Switch models feel like a poorly duct-taped madness, especially with the increase in size, like holding it one-handed while grabbing a drink or something. Switch Lite? No problem. Other Switch models? It does make me a bit nervous doing it. I usually readjust my grip to hold the body instead of the controller. Perhaps I'm overly cautious about it, but it's based on a personal experience. I've had instances of the Switch body going a little loose only to be stopped by the lock mechanism in the Joy-Con rail. The example shown is an exaggeration as it likely only dropped by a millimeter at best, but it has raised my awareness of the imperfections of this console. That being said, other models offer features that are subjectively and significantly better. Let's take a look at the OLED version. It offers a bigger, brighter screen compared to the dim screen of Lite. Under the bright Australian sun, Lite's screen, even at maximum brightness, can be difficult to see. OLED has a louder speaker and a metal kickstand. Lite speakers are acceptable at best with no kickstand included. Last but not least, OLED is fully compatible with Joy-Cons, whereas the Lite can be paired with Joy-Cons, but it needs to be carried separately with its own charger. If you're after the best possible Switch model, Lite is the wrong choice. Unless Every Switch models are portable, so how can a slightly smaller version benefit us? In everyday usage, the small size of Lite comes in handy in numerous occasions. If you're playing in a public transport and need to get off, rather than putting it into a carrying case and into a backpack, you can temporarily put it in your pocket and whip it out to play as you wait for another train or bus to catch. If you're playing in bed, the small size makes it easier to put it on a bedside table or into a drawer. Multitasking is also easier due to the lighter weight, so holding it one-handed is no issue at all. None of them are major advantage that makes Switch Lite a must, but add them all together and it's a nice feature to have. Who knew making a smaller product would result in better portability? I believe Switch Lite will become the 2DS and the 3DS lineup, the cheapest budget model with some quirks, and a couple advantages over premium models. It'll become more interesting once Nintendo releases the next-gen console. Do I recommend Switch Lite? Absolutely, as long as you know what you're getting into. It's a fantastic console overshadowed by the technical issue plaguing the entire Switch lineup. I still go back and forth between Lite and OLED models once in a while, as both devices offer unique experiences. Perhaps once the price drops significantly after the next console release, it may become a no-brainer. That's it for now. Bye.